The South is known for many things, like its southern hospitality, good soul food, sweet tea, farming, and many more things. Now, it may come as a shock to some of you, but there are different levels of southern, and we actually aren't all the same. You don't just get to label yourself a southern just because you moved down here. Oh, no. There's different layers to this, alright? You gotta have a couple of licks before you can be respected. So let's kick things off with a leveled list of southernness and see how southern you are. Starting out with level 1, we got
I want to be a cowboy, baby.
the yuppie. This is your person who just moved to the South. You probably moved down here from LA or New York because you saw how much cheaper it was down here and you bought a house in cash up front. You don't have an accent or know any of the lingo yet. You probably had sweet tea for the first time and got sent into cardiac arrest because you weren't aware that we put enough sugar in it to put a small elephant to sleep. You also start to realize how there are more Dollar Generals down here than actual towns. Something else that happens is the hospitality. You're surprised when the old man living next to you offers you his entire cornfield he just harvested, and all he says is, "All I ask for in return is for you to have a beer with me and chat for a while." You stick out because of the way you talk. People will keep asking you, "What brought you down here?" Then they'll proceed to tell you a 30-minute story of how they knew a young couple who moved down here from the same place you did, and it ends with, "Anyways, Billy died in a motorcycle incident last year, but you seem like you got your head on your shoulders." You'll also be surprised when people just talk to you while you're walking around town or in the grocery store. It's not that uncommon for some random person to just start a conversation with you, especially if they say they like your football shirt or something.
I'm your huckleberry.
Level 2, the new face in town. Now this is where it starts. You've lived here long enough that you start to get a little smidgen of twang in your vernacular. You might start saying y'all or Lord have mercy occasionally. You aren't fully southern or immersed in the life yet, but you might start listening to some country music. Although you think most of it isn't good because 90% of the songs are talking about a pickup truck, hunting, or how country they are. You aren't considered fully southern just yet. You still have a little ways to go before you can have that title. You might still have too much yuppie in you. Maybe you go on the occasional fishing or hunting trip, but you wouldn't consider it something you do on the regular as a hobby. To be honest, if you live in the more urban and city areas of the South, this is probably where you'll stay. You don't like to get dirty or do a whole lot of intense labor work outside because you live in an apartment somewhere. You live in the South but don't really partake in anything aside from the food and maybe some of the lingo. You prefer to stick to your roots and not live in what you consider the countryside or poor areas.
What's so great about dumb old Texas?
Level 3. The southernness begins. Now you start speaking southern. You stop finishing your words that end with ing and start saying thankin', shoot, and laughing. You also really start to pick up that twang in your voice, to the point you don't notice that you speak southern. It's just how you talk. You actually enjoy sweet tea now, and the more sugar, the better. Country music isn't so wretched to hear anymore. You actually enjoy listening to it as you're driving down a long winding road or you're on your way home from work. This is also the point at which you can understand some of the sayings like "bless your heart" or "he's too big for his britches." Although you realize that a lot of southern people also like to make up random sayings as well, so you probably only understand like 30% of them. This is probably what you would consider a wanting to be southern person. You might act like it, but still don't do the things that would be considered country.
You're alright, boy.
Level 4, the good old country boy. Okay, this is going to be the final normal level here. This is probably where the majority of southern people you meet are. These are the people that are clearly from the South because of the way they talk. You will never say them or a group. You will always use the word y'all, even when referring to two people. You probably have a local diner you go to at least once a week, and you probably know the names of most of your neighbors. Soul food has become one of your favorite types of food to eat, as you will absolutely destroy some good mac and cheese with fried chicken and some mashed potatoes. You also know someone's entire family lineage because some old southern people talk your ear off multiple times. And you have an overabundance of vegetables because every time they have new tomatoes out of their garden, they also share some with you. This is where you probably won't consider anyone living in the city part of the South a real southern person, because that's a whole different lifestyle, and to be honest, I'd probably have to make a whole nother video explaining how there are different factions of southern people. You don't own a farm, but you always think about it, and how it would be nice to just own some land and go riding along your trails on a dirt bike or a four-wheeler. You probably fish, hunt, dirt bike, four-wheel, or play golf, maybe all four, on the regular now too. If you do one of those 4 things, then you might also have a buddy you bring with you. This is also the point where you'll like and subscribe because you like listening to some country folk talk.
Naked cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch.
Level 5. the Farmer Joe. Admit it, you do want that farm. People will consider you strong because you work on a farm. As you know, there ain't no real strength like a farm boy's strength. You know it's hard work, but you are willing to do it because you just love waking up every morning to smell manure. This is where you have gone full Southern. You don't go to the cities as much because ain't nothing worth there anyways. You want to keep to your roots and stay out in the countryside and not deal with all them yuppies pouring into your town. You have at least one 60-year-old friend that's named Ron, Irvin, Ken, or Jimmy. You know everyone who lives nearby you within a 10-mile radius and know the name of every single road and street. You also attend a NASCAR race at least once a year. Hunting and fishing are the two hobbies you have decided you will do for the rest of your life now. You go to the local farmer's market for your supplies now more than you go to any other store. Tractor Supply and any other local farm stores are where you have become a regular, and they most likely already know exactly what you need once you walk inside. You don't wear any yuppie clothing either. You most likely just go out in your working clothes or camo. You still wear something nice for date night or special occasions though. These are the type of Southern people that you won't see out as much because if they have any free time away from their farm life, they're probably out hunting or fishing. If they go out to eat, it's most likely at their favorite diner where they'll spend at least 30 minutes talking to some of the workers there. Level 6, the Billy Bob Sr. dirt road type of person. Now you've become a cowboy. You live out in the middle of nowhere on your farm with your 10 cows, 4 pigs, 2 horses, 2 farm dogs, 1 barn cat, oh, and your wife, and 13 children. The more hands to help around the farm, the better. You also have at least 20 guns with the serial number scratched out on them, cause them government boys ain't coming to take nothing of yours. This is where chewing tobacco and dipping is second nature to you. You either need to carry a dip bottle around with you, or you have designated pots and cans around your property to spit the dip in. There's no such thing as water because sweet tea and Mountain Dew are the only 2 things you need to live. The only market you go to now is the local farmer's market. You don't want any of that city meat. You have begun to only use Southern slang when describing things, and you make sure it's emphasized that you won't sound like a darn yuppie that don't even know how to change a tire on their car. You gotta do everything yourself now, you see? Don't pay for none of that nonsense they try to sell you in the city. You also have at least 1 or 2 illegal firearms, but it's okay, because all your buddies do as well. This is the level of Southern person that's pretty self-sufficient. They know how to hunt and fish properly. They have little secret spots that only they know about. And this is also the type of person, well, my daddy's lived here, so we've been here for about, I don't know, about 80 years now, I think. This level and the next are really only something that's achieved if you are born and raised in the South. Level 7, banjo music, the Southern Hoss. Now this is where it goes off the rails. I can only describe this as the, if you hear banjos, you better run, because this goes to the actual backwoods people. You can't even be understood by regular Southern people anymore. You have so much twang in your voice, you sound like the hillbilly version of Mr. Beaker. If you've ever encountered one of these types of people, you know what I'm talking about. It's genuinely so hard to understand them because they have such a crazy Southern accent, and on top of that, they'll have their own lingo for everything. Here, give me that jock malt right there. I tell you what, you'll have a moonshine distillery out behind your house at this point. You really live in the middle of nowhere now because the closest grocery store is at least a 30-minute drive from your house. The only time you ever come out is when you need some medicine or must-have supplies. Other than that, you and your family stay secluded out in them woods back there. You have enough ammunition for a small platoon. You somehow got access to weapons that would most certainly get you on a watch list as well, but nobody knows except you and the seller. You have a creek behind your house that you regularly fish from. You've had at least 3 encounters with a bear or mountain lion, and you've managed to scare them off every time because there's no true strength like a backwoods Southern hillbilly that wrestles with bears and mountain lions on occasion. These type of people will usually consider every other level on this list as fake Southern because they're not out here like you are surviving off the land naturally. You probably have a long, busy beard at this point as well and have a favorite pair of cowboy boots and a hat. Well, that's all I've got as far as this list goes. I know some people may be thinking, you didn't cover all the different kinds of Southern people. You are correct. Like I said earlier, that would have to be its own separate video, as there really are many different types of Southern people. Just way too many to cover in this video. Let me know where y'all think you are on this list and anything that I may have missed along the way. If you like what you heard, remember to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good night.